Hello. I don't know what's wrong with the camera. Something's wrong, definitely. Hope you can see me. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe I'll try to wipe it with something. Well, whatever. It's not for me to show my face today. I was planning to screen share much, so um, we wanted to do a little live show today with Richard. But as always, things go not as way as we planned it, and we're gonna do it tomorrow. So today I'm gonna show a couple of images and talk about some gas mining. Let's see. So we had a post today, Rob Pollard on Martin Manson's, Martin Liedtke page. So this is like a Starfort structure, but what is missing here? We have a missing of bricks and the fort itself, so it's like very small, right? We tried to tunnel through this as kids. Low got about 10 feet in and collapsed on the mate, who was fine. So I said, are there any gas or oil nearby? He said, like, no fuel, just a river. I thought it was Newark, New Jersey. And so I found a map of New Jersey fracking and stuff like this. So it kind of fit in. But it was not New Jersey, it was New York, UK. Newark, UK. So what we have to do in this case, right? We have to check out the UK, and here's the map that shows the deposit of natural gas. So this place is in the marked zone, and it's over here, right below the Hull and close to Sheffield and Nottingham. So it's like Hull is on top, right? So we check the map, how they extract gas from 10 feet under the ground. Areas shale gas exploration licenses has been granted, and we see this Hull place here, leads here, so it's like very close to Hull, as you can see. Right below it, it's all red zone. So I mean, this is the area probably of the ancient fracking also, and I mean, this could be the fracking station of the ancients. I mean, why not? Because we have a bunch of evidence of these stations look exactly like modern stations, right? Um, if you don't mind, I'll probably find you a picture of that soon. But we wanted to show it on Richard's channel, but I think he missed that point and didn't put it in the Starforts video that we made. So this is how the fracking is going on. So we have to have a river close to it. So we have a river close to the Starfort and this Cones Park Starfort. Or we can see it's over here, Queen's Cons, right? So it's like a river right close to it, small river here, which could be, of course, used by the miners, and pretty big river, River Trent, which is flowing all the way up, all the way up to the city of Hull, where we have a license here according to this map. So the license is here. So it's probably the same river basin and the ancient use for fracking here. So they used. This is not like they have to do it, but they have to use what is naturally given to them. So if there's an opportunity to use a lake, they're gonna use a lake for fracking because they need water to for these procedures. So like we have a river, we have some type of small river here, and we have wastewater ponds also. And so what do we have here near this Scones Hill? We have, let's see again. We have a river. We have a small river. We don't have any basins though, right? We don't have any basins. But if you look in 2D, you probably won't find any. But they could be anywhere. Like this could be the basin. Why not? Because it's very close to the station. And it looks like this right now. So probably if they were planning a road, they could use this. So it's like, I mean, if you have a nice flow of water and some type of reservoir close to it, which is like little ports right now, they could be using this water. And of course, they need some pipelines. And I wonder if there were any more Starforts on this road, on this river. Looks like some strange structures nearby also have it here. I don't know what this means. So it's like if you have a gas line, you have to have several of them. You don't, stick to one and only gas well. So it's like only one gas well doesn't give all this efficiency. You always have to have two or three at least. And maybe each and every city here was also a station. Or maybe the city had reservoirs for gas because it's also a very good resource for us community. They can use it as a, you know, as a fuel, as a fuel for illumination on the streets, as a fuel for cars, vehicles, trucks, and all this stuff. So it's like very cheap way to empower all this stuff and very natural in fact because it doesn't have any um, very pollute and not very much pollution is coming out of natural gas, so it's like zero pollution, very very ecological fuel. I mean, why not everything is on gas right now? Only because of the oil mafia, because oil mafia wants us to be uh, buying oil, not natural gas, because preceding the oil they get the profit, not we do, because we have all this pollution from the gasoline and oil production. Okay, so I think you got what I said, and also I wanted to show some pictures that I found recently on my PC. So it's like the city of Neapolis. I think I was showing them uh, like a year ago, maybe. Most of you missed this, probably because at least half of my subscribers were uh, subscribed since November. So it's like probably you were not watching this. So it's like the underground city of Neapolis or Napoli, and very interesting how it looks from the beneath. I mean, it doesn't look like underground. It looks like a bird, structures buried, hallways, and even streets. Like, why couldn't this be an entrance to some street store or something? So you like walk in here, going to buy some bread here, walking over there, maybe. Why couldn't this be just a store or something? Maybe you can do a haircut there. Why not? And this hallway is just, very interesting because, I mean, it looks like something like people could be sitting here. So it's not like, don't believe those who say that they were totally giants back then. Look at this size of those benches. They are not for giants, they're just for ordinary people. I mean, probably a giant could also sit here, but the height is okay for ordinary people. So it's like a bench, nothing else. And this is also the plan of this place. So it's like what is underground. You can see over here. Again, this is probably the picture I've been shown before, but this is the different view. Look at the way they didn't do any insulation. If this was really the basement, they would do an insulation layer, not just, who would be doing the windows without insulation. I mean, they could be doing them since like this height, so we can be having sticking little windows here, but not the whole frame. Whole frame is like really stupid to do this, and no insulation here, as you can see. So literally, what they did to brick up this, they just did it because they had to do it because otherwise the water and all this stuff inside would be always their problem, and all they're gonna have this black stuff everywhere. So it's like humidity and nothing else. And what about planning the streets? I mean, that guy was saying about the planning the streets, like the officials had a 20th century planning. Each and every town was planned, and they were planning the streets, like leveling the streets. I mean, this is good explanation, of course, for all this sand and clay here. But I mean, if we go down deeper there, we probably find some other floors. How are they gonna explain that? So I mean, this is like a 3 meter, about maybe 2.5 meters at least, with the sand and clay. So they saying they were planning, and if they were planning, they took all the sand from somewhere, brought it here, leveled this house with the whole street as they've been saying they were planning it. So I mean, this is not the only house they were planning. So probably how many sand and clay they should be bringing to level the whole city then? I mean, it's not just one house, it's each and every house they were planning, is if they were planning, because it's not the planning of one house is very stupid in the scale of the city. What can you do with the one house? One house is standing, and it doesn't make any difference if you planned it and leveled it up to other streets, because you probably have some more. So you have to do the whole city planning, right? If you want all this flat line streets with no, I mean, you need some some angles so the water could be flowing in some direction, right? So you probably have somewhere the tropical rain or something will come someday, and you'll have the problem with the sewers and all this flushing water. So I mean, this is very interesting because Moscow at least had all these underground sewers who were planned to do all this work during the huge rains. So they did the planning at that time. So why did the Soviets want to do it again in 20th century? And we see so many buildings were already buried, and we see the level didn't change during the planning, so-called planning. So probably uh, the planning explanation works only partly and only on few districts of each city. The majority of each and every old cities probably was buried before they even started to think about planning. So it's like probably about 6 feet tall, look, and probably 3 more feet. So it's like 9, 10 feet deep here. And this is not the end, probably, because look at the windows. You have to supposed to have something more deeper there. And this is the marketplace in Paris. Yeah, some rare picture from Getty Images. Also, the street from my hometown. Also, we see. Look at this. They already buried before the Soviets. It's 19th century, and they are already buried here. We only see sticking half of the windows, and this is no asphalt. This is just the dirt. Look at this. It's mud and dirt. So the dirt was planning all the city in 19th century, and then came the Soviets and also did the same. I mean, they didn't even raise a feet of height. I mean, this is stupid to explain it like this. So during the planning in this city, exactly, they were Parisian images, probably Paris. Uh, while they were planning the Paris, they forgot about this, structures on the ground, right? This is the way to plan it. I mean, they attract tourists, and why would they just, forget about this Greco-Roman styles, columns and arches here? Why? Just, tell me why. What is the reason for them to forget about it during the planning and then accidentally find them during the reconstruction and leave them like this and like staring at them? What the hell we're gonna do with this? So now they open it for the public. Why? So what is the purpose then for planning it, forgetting it for 50 years? I mean, what was the purpose about forgetting all this stuff? Look how deep it is. They were building the marketplace already knowing this stuff here, so they were trying to hide it. Eventually we found out about it and we showed it to the public. Now they have to do something without any answer. They can't, keep us lying, keep lying to us. I mean, if they won't answer with some official theory about it, what is the official paradigm? In fact, who's from France? Find out, please, and let us know what's the official paradigm about this marketplace in Paris. Again, that house in Omsk. And this is probably how it looks right now, the marketplace. I mean, this is Polytechnical Museum. We already talked about it a bunch of times. And also the wooden houses. Very interesting. Why would you do windows like this in a wooden house? It's completely stupid to do that. Also found underground, as you can see, it was excavated. All this area. That's that marketplace when they were uh, demolishing it. That's the aerial view. So they knew it in 50s. They knew all this stuff. Why didn't they just show it to us back then? Now we see what we see. Huge underground facilities, huge volume of construction that nobody You know, who can explain how this was performed in 19th century with what technology, guys? I mean, look at those houses. They some of them are 17th, 18th, 16th century. Just imagine, how can you explain this? I mean, what is the official explanation of this? The archaeologists can always explain the crap they find on the ground, like they find a wall and they date it back then to like 2,000 years, because they have these bricks that are dirty and looking like ugly. Of course, it's not like when you find it in the city. Rural area is a rural area, and a bunch of humidity there, probably more than in the city. So everything gets older faster in the field than it does in the city. So, but I wonder how this area was, buried anyway. How they explain it. If this is some bottom of the ocean of the sea, then this house underneath could be like how many thousand years ago? When was the sea here? If there was a flood, or mud flow from some mountain, show us the mountain. But they can't show us the mountain because there's no mountain here. If that was liquefaction, we should see signs of it. There's no signs of liquefaction. All the buildings are straight and still. They don't lean. They have straight structures. They just look demolished, like they were bombed or something, maybe destroyed by something, and then buried with this flow of sand and clay. That is that marketplace again. And somebody told me it was called dredging or something. This is how we call it, the sand. Земснаряд we call it. So it's like soil thrower or sand thrower. So it's like they take it from the river bottoms and stuff like this, and all this sand is thrown in some special places where it could be drying out and become sand actually. So, and then they sell this sand to construction companies and all this stuff, so they can use it in their production. But I think if they were mining also, they could be using these technologies to uh, produce the sand hills, sand and clay hills. So probably they were making those constructions that we see here with this technology. So they just brought it from the river, cleaned the river, and with the sand and the clay and mud built all this structure in special forms that they had. Because how can you explain it other way? It's very stupid to do it with the shovels or whatever they had in official theory. I mean, you have the river nearby, you have a flow, you have a pump, and you do it, you just pump it up and have all this form, whatever, drying out and looking exactly like what we see here. And it's pretty good form for fracking device, fracking well. Okay, now the example, wooden house on top of the bricks house, which is buried. So this is how it looks when you have a sandstorm, and so the people actually have problems getting out of the house. Another wooden house. It's also famous pictures. You can see what we actually saw on the first pictures, where we saw windows bricked up. Here we don't even have them bricked up here, so they like forgot totally about their basements for 100 years, and some of them didn't even brick them up, so they didn't even use the basement in whole in this whole greenhouse. Full length of the windows are broken. Look, So probably it was underground, and they just cleaned it up to see that it's way more below than they thought. Okay, so I'm talking about the sand and clay as a possible as a possible um, reason also, because if we had a water flood that could be carrying this much amount of sand and clay, we could also see some types of burying and all this stuff that we see right now. So probably it could be the reason. But I'm sticking to mining because mining also would produce all those sand hills and stuff like this as a byproducts. So why not? So I mean, we see the evidence of Starforts globally. We see the evidence of catastrophe worldwide, and we see that it's somehow connected to the ancient technologies. So if the Starforts were actually used for fracking and other sorts of mining, then we probably have the good idea about how it could be proceeding. Okay, so I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Tomorrow we're gonna have another chat with Richard, and sorry for not having a long one today because I probably have to go to sleep to feel better tomorrow and to do a better job. So thanks a lot for watching and see you later. Bye.